Welcome to the Diversity and Inclusion Awards 2022, brought to you by Missouri Lawyers Media. Now give a warm virtual welcome to your host, Liz Irwin.
Good afternoon and welcome to our annual Diversity and Inclusion Awards. I'm Liz Irwin, Senior Group Publisher for Missouri Lawyers Media. I'll be your host this afternoon along with Jordan Yacht, our editor, and Johnny Aguirre, our Associate Publisher. We're so pleased and certainly honored to host again this year such a special recognition event for Missouri's legal community. Its purpose is to honor the incredible work being done by so many to ensure our differences are celebrated to better accomplish the task at hand and the greater good. We encourage you to help us make this an interactive program today, even in our virtual environment. Join us on social media at hashtag MLMDiversity2022. Post your comments, cheer on your colleagues. To our diversity and inclusion honorees, post photos of being with your family and holding your award. Today, let's socially engage and celebrate virtually. For those of you who follow us regularly, you know Missouri Lawyers Media works hard to provide you information you can use in your practice. We are a media company built on innovation. For decades, we've continued to recognize and celebrate the incredible legal work of Missouri attorneys, and this specific award comes at an important time in our history. Today, we honor those who are making positive change by embracing our differences, creating a better whole. Each of you has a very important role in today's live stream virtual event. This is an interactive event, as I said earlier, so as you post to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using hashtag MLMDiversity2022, many of your comments and some of your photos will appear live on our screen in the live stream. This is how you can interact with other guests and virtually applaud for the honorees. So honorees share photos with your award, your family, your dog and cat, whatever works for you. Guests tell today's winners how proud you are and why you appreciate them. Everyone share comments and photos of your celebrations wherever you are right now. And without the partnership of our sponsors today and each of you, this event would not be possible. I want to sincerely express my appreciation for our presenting sponsor, Lewis Rice. Our award sponsor this year is Mickus O'Toole. I'd like to share more from the firm through this video.
Hello, my name is Vince Reese, and I'm the managing partner of Mickus O'Toole. Mickus O'Toole is once again honored to sponsor the Missouri Lawyers Media Diversity and Inclusion Awards. As Missouri's largest minority-owned law firm, we greatly value the diversity that each of our employees brings to our firm, and we recognize the competitive advantage that our diversity provides to our clients. We know from experience that diverse and inclusive organizations are stronger, more creative, and deliver better results. So it is with great honor that we offer our congratulations to this year's honorees for their continued dedication to diversity in our profession. Thank you for all that you do, and please keep up the good work.
We also want to thank our celebration sponsors, Frankie Schultz and Mullen, Hush Blackwell, Baker, Sturkey, Cowden and Rice, and Stanton Barton. You'll see throughout the awards program a few shout-out videos from law firms and businesses celebrating their colleagues, so stay tuned to see those. Before we begin the individual honoree recognitions, it is my sincere privilege to introduce to you a woman who makes a difference every day in the quality of the state's legal system. Susan Block has spent most of her 46-year legal career helping children and families, first as St. Louis County Circuit Judge, and now in private practice with Paul Kamazine and Blumenthal. In 1978, Susan ran against an incumbent magistrate judge in St. Louis County. She became the first woman to be elected as a judge in the county, but she never had to run in a partisan ticket again. Magistrate positions were soon converted to associate judgeships. Voters repeatedly retained her in office, and in 1995, Governor Mel Carnahan elevated her to the circuit bench. Susan oversaw the court's juvenile division for 7 years. She brought a fresh set of eyes to problems in the juvenile system and established a truancy court. Susan likes to say she did her career in reverse. She retired from the bench at the end of 2003 and went into private practice. She is among the state's most formidable family lawyers, handling matters that include divorce, child custody, paternity, and domestic partnership conflicts. She's also one of the few former judges who routinely practices in trial courts. And of course, she was Missouri Lawyers Media's 2021 Woman of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Block.
Congratulations to all the honorees of the Missouri Lawyers Media Diversity and Inclusion Awards. It is truly an honor to be able to speak to you today about the critical issues of diversity and inclusion. When I think of diversity, I think of an action word, not a noun, one that requires effort, the other just being a beautiful snapshot like the colors of Benetton. The recipients of these awards have actualized diversity by bringing into their workplaces persons that represent the rich fabric of our community. Persons of different colors, ethnicities, ages, capabilities, sexual orientation, and genders. But the important work is really including them in these spaces. I urge you to think about inclusion as equity and opportunity, to think about this as a responsibility of both being a great lawyer and a good citizen. When we include associates into our firms, do we give them the opportunity for advancement, the opportunity to be heard, to be part of our succession plans, to help make our policies? Do we take them under wing to fully engage their lived experiences? You know, it is not traditional billable work to do these things. If it were, it would be more likely than not to happen. We need to find creative ways to reward all lawyers who make inclusion happen, as it will inevitably result in a healthier workplace and help us serve and attract clients of differing backgrounds. Usually during election years, public officials hire staff members with a view towards equity. That view, however, is often dimmed after the election. No plan is in place for retention of the diverse employees. Inclusion is short-lived and not sustained. And this cannot be the responsibility of your DEI manager or partner or HR. We must share that responsibility. Each of us has to have a part in this transformative work. When was the last time you had a meaningful conversation with someone of a different color than you, a different faith than you, a different heritage? I ask you to make this your goal in the coming week. Diversity and inclusion cannot stop at our offices. We need to take it home with us, teach it to our spouses and our children. We live in terrifying times in which a Supreme Court justice has written about possibly invalidating my marriage to my wife. When same-sex couples who share children call our offices, they are terrified. They are terrified about whether or not they need to formally adopt the children that they have been raising together. They are terrified that their estate planning documents are no longer going to continue to be protected under the law. So my call to action for you is this. You need to get involved in your local government, explore running for office, and at the very least, become an informed voter. Politics is not for a select few. Politics must be something we all commit to. Diminishing the rights of others diminishes all of us. Since you are attending this event, this may be preaching to the choir. So please share these challenges with someone who isn't here. After all, we are all in this together. Let's do it. Thank you, and be well and safe.
Thank you so much, Susan. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce and welcome Missouri Lawyers Media's editor, Jordan Yant, to share with you how today's honorees were selected, and then we'll be moving into the awards portion of the program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying our program so far. The individuals and firms we honor through this year's program were selected from scores of nominations. They represent the epitome of ongoing work and exceptional achievement to encourage positive change. They're dedicated to the profession to ensure it represents the many facets of human diversity and to the application of justice overall, regardless of our differences. The nominations we received highlighted work as varied as the legal professionals doing it all, but with a laser-focused mission on appreciating our differences through a creation of inclusion. In selecting these honorees, we looked at the commitment and impact they have had within their firms and organizations on ensuring diversity and inclusion of all humans, or in the equality of justice, regardless of our differences. To help select this year's class of honorees, we relied on members of a special selection committee comprised of those in the legal community who share the mission we recognize today. Their help in the process, and in fact this entire event, was and is immeasurable. We sincerely and humbly thank each for their commitment to this effort. They are, quite simply, inspirational. So let's get started. It is now time to meet Missouri Lawyers Media's selections for the 2022 Diversity and Inclusion Awards. Their awards were delivered to them in the last few days. Let's meet them now.
Ashley Benoist serves as chair of Stanton Barton's Diversity and Inclusion Committee and works vigorously to further its efforts and initiatives. As chair, Ashley created and implemented the firm's St. Louis Diverse Restaurant Guide, as well as their Futures for All scholarship program, which promotes and aids diversity in college applicants. Ashley is also involved not only in fundraising for a variety of nonprofit organizations, but she also established a food pantry which serves the local community. Additionally, Benoist works closely with Stanton Barton's Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Committee to measure, promote and advance diversity metrics within the firm, including the recruitment, employment and retention of diverse individuals.
One of the things that motivates me about my work as an advocate for diversity and inclusion is just recognizing that people who come from different backgrounds and different walks of life always have a different perspective to offer, a different experience that they've lived, and they have a different lens that they bring to the table. And it's very important that we include as many different lenses as possible, because that's going to lead to more solutions. It's going to lead to better brainstorming. When everybody has a different opinion, we can come together and find the solution that's going to fit most people. One of the things that I am proudest about at my law firm is their willingness to engage in community outreach efforts. We are a civil defense litigation firm, but I love that we give back to the community, that we donate to organizations that we're familiar with and believe in. We have a scholarship program for local teens, and I just love how they're always willing to support the committee whenever we want to go out and try and make a difference in the community. I'd still like to see a lot more diversity in the legal field, different races, different socioeconomic statuses, differently abled people, people from different communities, different walks of life. I think we still have a lot more work to do, and I would love to see that represented in the legal community specifically.
Not only is Grace Colato Martinez exceeding the expectations of a rising junior associate at Bryan Cave Leighton Paisner, but she is also an outstanding contributor to diversity and inclusion efforts in the Kansas City community. Grace has been a driving force in the creation of UMKC School of Law's Diverse Student Coalition Banquet, which in 3 years has raised over $200,000 in scholarships for future law students, and in establishing the school's diverse alumni network, which helps support current students. Grace has also worked with a diverse group of other student leaders to create the Diverse Student Coalition Endowed Scholarships.
What motivates me most in my work as an advocate for diversity and inclusion is to give back. What I want to do is to continue to give back to those people who follow in my footsteps. That's, I think, what led me here to where I am today in my position as a lawyer, as a member of my community who's able to fill leadership roles. There are many people that have inspired me in my work in diversity and inclusion. I think this is the most exciting question for me to answer, because I think that's really what motivates me the most to continue in this work. I would start with my family. I'm also motivated by and inspired by those whose paths I've crossed in my work. The members of Missouri's legal system have to continue to find creative ways and meaningful ways to reach the diverse community, to reach diverse law students, to recruit diverse law students. What can we do to continue to make a space? What can be done to continue to ensure that it's a comfortable space, it's an inclusive space in the legal community?
Judge Willie J. Epps is a federal magistrate judge for the United States District Court for the Western District of Missouri, a position to which he was appointed on July 17, 2017. Judge Epps recently augmented an already strong career by co-authoring a law review article published by the University of Missouri Law School, setting a new path in detailing the careers of African Americans in the legal profession in Missouri, with Missouri's Black judicial pioneers leading and presiding. The piece includes an unparalleled amount of information on Missouri's Black judges from 1922 to the present, including how they overcame obstacles and discrimination within their profession, going on to serve with distinction.
One of the blessings of COVID, and there aren't many, but one of the blessings was the world stopping. And I got a chance, as our state was approaching our bicentennial, to take a look at the history of Black lawyers and judges in the state of Missouri. And it just so happened that during Missouri's bicentennial, Black lawyers were celebrating being a part of our profession for 150 years. So I had a blast putting that together, and I'm so thankful for all of my friends across the state who helped me gather the material for that law review article. And I'm very grateful for the editors at the Missouri Law Review. With respect to diversity and inclusion, I'm so grateful to have been a lawyer here in the state of Missouri during the 21st century, given what lawyers who look like me faced in the 20th century. And I'd like to think that I've been able to help those coming behind me achieve greater successes than I have had. I consider a successful day when I've done business with world-class lawyers who are ethical, honest, straightforward, and know their case. That's when I've had a really good day in the office. When I've had the opposite, it has not been a good day.
Congratulations and well done. Let's meet our next group of winners.
As Corporate Counsel for Labor Employment and Information Governance at the Kansas City Southern Railway Company, Noah Garcia has taken significant steps to be an active part of Missouri's diversity and inclusion movement. When his law department hires new outside counsel, he strongly encourages them to consider at least 50% of the pool to be diverse attorneys. Garcia understands that while talent is spread out evenly, opportunity is not, and aspires to help redress the balance in all of his endeavors.
I'm very motivated to both give back and to try and set an example for others. There's very few Hispanic attorneys that do what I do. And I think that talent is spread out equally, but I think that opportunity is not. So I was very fortunate to have a client that was interested in developing young, diverse talent. I'm really proud of my pro bono work for underrepresented individuals. I do work with the Military Matters folks, help on bar committees. I do some mentorship with my law school and speak with some young and diverse law students. And so I'm very proud of the work that I do there because it's additional initiatives that are kind of outside of. I consider it a successful day when I come home and get to see my kids.
Reginald L. Harris has effectively championed diversity and inclusion both inside Bryan Cave Leighton Paisner and in the broader community. He has distinguished himself within the firm for his commitment to diversity and inclusion, as evidenced by his involvement in the development and support of initiatives designed to expand and build on local client and community relationships. As a member of the firm's recruiting committee, Harris is dedicated to ensuring that the firm upholds its commitment to both creating and maintaining a diverse workplace.
You know, the folks coming behind me, for younger generations of professionals and attorneys, to be able to have a better time or a more smoother time at, going into their professions and progressing in their professions. And so, my motivation is to try and help make that process better for other attorneys, younger attorneys coming after me. Well, what makes me most proud of my law firm is that the firm is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we all know that we have challenges that we have to face, and we have to solve this problem together. Our firm does not shrink from that problem. We recognize it, and we're attacking it head on. I would say in terms of what more, the legal system and attorneys need to do to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, those who are already engaged in this type of work should stay engaged and continue to do the work, because I sense we're gonna need to do this kind of work for some time.
Spanning a career of over 20 years, Robin Jefferson Higgins has demonstrated brilliance, patience, and giftedness as a professor and lawyer at Webster University. Robin is responsible for having hired an extremely diverse group of lawyer adjunct faculty and for recruiting a remarkably diverse student population to her department. For decades, Robin Jefferson Higgins has tirelessly recruited, mentored, and supported students of color, as well as first-generation students who go on to enter the legal profession as both paralegals and lawyers. In addition, she has taught and presented on many subjects related to American legal history, placing special emphasis on teaching racial and gender-based legal history.
What motivates me when I think about diversity and inclusion is the connection I have with students. I'm training students to go to work in the legal field. And so I come into contact with people of all walks of life. So once my students are able to connect with other people, different backgrounds, different religion, ages, socioeconomic background, it really allows them to open their eyes to other people. So that is really what motivates me, because these students leave, I believe, from our programs with a different outlook on just the world. I think that just the ability for people to start considering people as people, first and foremost, without seeing people for just what they look like, whether it is based on gender, whether it is based on race, whether it's based on age or socioeconomic. I think that is a lofty goal, right? Because there are so many things that stand in our way from just accepting people as people. So I'm hoping that people can start thinking differently and start thinking about people as just who they are without feeding in all of these other negative ideals about individuals.
Hi, I'm Danny McCartney, Interim Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. On behalf of the college, I want to congratulate Professor Robin Jefferson Higgins on earning a Diversity and Inclusion Award from Missouri Lawyers Media.
Congratulations to each of our winners. And now our Associate Publisher and Advertising Director, Johnny Aguirre, will introduce our next group of honorees. Johnny?
Thank you, Jordan. It's my privilege to introduce our next honorees.
While attorney Alexandra Johnson grew up in St. Louis, she had the opportunity to travel, learning French, German, and Spanish. Johnson went on to pursue her law and business degrees simultaneously at St. Louis University, earning both her Master in International Business and her Juris Doctorate. Currently, Alexandra works as a solo practitioner focusing on estate planning and has developed a pro bono CLE entitled Breaking Down Systematic Inequities via Strategic Estate Planning. She is also a member of several diversity, inclusion, and equity parental boards, including the College School Parent DEI Committee and the New City School Parent DEI Committee.
It sounds a little bit cliche to say that what motivates me in my work and pursuit of diversity and inclusion is to make the world a better place. But as a mother, that is certainly at the top of my list. I think that the world is, in general, full of both beauty and terrible things. And part of my job as an estate planner, I think of legacies a lot, and I want my legacy to have left the world slightly better. I think I am a little bit proud, if I'm going to be asked what I'm proud of the ability to see it's not just about reading great books about diversity and other topics that are important, but also figuring out how to apply that into your life and whatever your sphere of influence happens to be. My recommendation to the Missouri Bar would be to really focus on creating space and opportunities for people of non-Northern European heritage to lead and to follow that lead. Create the space for that leadership and then follow that lead and really spread out who we are, how we define ourselves as Missourians and members of the Missouri Bar.
An associate attorney at Carmody McDonald, Candace Johnson has taken a leading role in promoting diversity and inclusion both in and outside of the firm. She has led numerous CLEs educating individuals on topics of diversity, including elimination of bias. Candace is also a member of multiple boards, and her willingness to join new, just causes is outstanding. Her employment law background provides Johnson with an ability to effectively identify and resolve diversity and inclusion issues in a workplace setting beyond her years, which in turn helps inform the growth and understanding of both individuals and entire companies.
What motivates me the most is my desire to help, whether it's helping clients or helping law students. That's my favorite part of my job. And that also directly ties into my push to increase diversity in the legal profession, because I strongly believe that clients are best served when we have a diverse talent pool serving them. So what makes me most proud of my law firm is its ability to take a step back and figure out where are our pain points as it pertains to diversity, or quite frankly, anything, and its willingness to address those issues. I consider it a successful day when I am able to adequately advise my clients, when we're able to meet in the middle, and when I get to go home and play with my kiddos.
Congratulations, Candace.
Congratulations, Candace, on this well-deserved award. We're lucky to have you at the firm, and you're a pleasure to work with.
Congratulations, Candace. We are all so proud of you.
Congrats, Candace!
Congratulations, Candace. You deserve this.
Candace, it's an honor to work with you. Congratulations on your well-deserved award.
Throughout his 20-year career, Polsinelli shareholder Arindam Kaur has assisted numerous global clients in matters of antitrust compliance, counseling, and government investigations. Outside of his accomplishments within the legal field, Arindam has an enthusiasm and proven track record for improving the St. Louis community through his unwavering and significant efforts in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Arindam Kaur is a servant leader in numerous organizations in the community, including the boards of the International Institute and Mid-America Transplant. Kaur also regularly handles pro bono immigration matters and is currently helping lead the region's effort resettling Afghan special immigrant visa holders, humanitarian parolees, and refugees.
I would say my motivation in terms of my work in diversity, equity, and inclusion is two things. One, just from experience being a lawyer of color and having to advocate for myself throughout my career. And then secondly, I find it to be a passion of mine to help others also navigate the industry and be able to be, their best self. And I think part of that component is absolutely advocating and helping the value of diversity, equity, and inclusion. There are many things that make me very proud of my law firm in terms of its diversity efforts. One of the things that I really believe is unique about Polsinelli is when we think about diversity, we're not limiting that just to lawyers. It's not just associates, counsel, shareholders. We're looking at this more broadly. In terms of the legal community in our state, we have to come to a point where not only do we value diversity and equity and inclusion, but everyone needs to have a lens of whatever is being done, always stopping and pausing and saying, hey, from a DE&I perspective, are we accomplishing our goals? Are we accomplishing what we want to achieve?
Kayla Lovelace is an associate at Hush Blackwell, specializing in employment and labor law and workplace diversity, equity, and inclusion. An innovative and strategic thinker, Kayla helps employers solve and mitigate a wide range of labor and employment matters by providing research, discovery, and due diligence, often mitigating risk on common issues before they become problematic. As part of the firm's labor and employment diversity, equity, and inclusion subgroup, she is dedicated to establishing and reinforcing their clients' commitment to DE&I through recruitment, strategic planning, and retention of diverse talent, as well as assisting with legal and non-legal challenges related to the development of workplace diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
So the things that motivate me as an attorney and also as an advocate for DE&I work are basically my upbringing. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. I was raised in a family that is full of individuals that are committed to community service. And so when I actually became an attorney, I always knew I wanted to service the community in some capacity. But also my firm has been very supportive in actually showing that they care about DE&I initiatives, and they've given me the space to really make things work. So a goal that remains unfulfilled for me within my role as an advocate for DE&I, I would say that we're still new. Our practice group was just brought off the ground probably early February of this year. And so we're still very new. We still have a lot of space to grow. But I ultimately really do want this to become something that companies are looking for. As an attorney, I think one of my personal goals that I want to happen is for me to serve as kind of someone who can be a role model for others. I think I'm still junior in my career, so maybe I'm not seeing that as much, but I really do hope to be a resource the way that people before me have become a resource.
Since his time at Washington University School of Law, Judge David C. Mason has been relentless in the pursuit of advancing diversity and inclusion. Notably, Judge Mason has spent over 10 years as the originator and head of the Freedom Suits Memorial Project, dedicated to educating the public about slave plaintiffs who sued for their freedom in the years leading up to the Civil War at great personal risk, as well as the legal professionals who helped them. First forming the diverse 12-person steering committee dedicated to bringing the memorial to fruition, Judge Mason went on to fervently advocate for and promote awareness of the project, culminating in the unveiling of a 14-foot memorial statue outside the Civil Courts building on June 20th, 2022.
You know, when I think about what really motivates me in terms of my work in the area of diversity and inclusion, really centers around my understanding that the legal profession in the United States of America, if not the most impactful profession in the world, certainly in the top 3. And yet I see in our profession a lack of the diversity necessary to say that that power is effectively shared with America now as we know it to be. Take it seriously and develop a sense of urgency. You know, you got to make people feel like they're welcome and at home if you want them to stay in the firm. I don't care if they're black, white, or purple. And if you're failing to do that, you're going to lose your diverse lawyers. I consider it a successful day when I go home feeling like I truly followed the law and facts and was fair to the parties that came in front of me. That makes me feel good.
Congratulations all, and thanks to all of you watching our program for posting to hashtag MLM Diversity 2022. The bottom of the screen is full of virtual cheers, applause, handshakes, high fives, and hugs. Keep them coming. Let's meet some more very special individuals.
Ronald A. Norwood has an impressive track record of proactively promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within Lewis Rice, serving as chairman of the firm's DE&I committee for almost 10 years. In this role, he has led efforts to implement and oversee a variety of initiatives and programs designed to foster diversity, including various scholarships, paid internships, and the firm's proactive outreach program, created to help attract diverse recruits for its summer associate and attorney classes. In 2021, Ron was selected to serve on the Missouri Bar's Special Committee on Lawyers of Color, and his involvement has resulted in 6 new inclusion and diversity initiatives being presented and approved by the Board of Governors of the Missouri Bar.
With respect to what motivates me both professionally and in the DEI space, as a professional and as a person of color, my goal is to be the best lawyer I can be as a litigator throughout the courtrooms and the boardrooms and the like. And for me, that helps to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. What makes me proud of my law firm is that when I started at this law firm as a summer intern in 1985, I was welcomed with open arms. Throughout my 34-year career, particularly during my associate years, I had mentors of all stripes, individuals who were invested in my success as a lawyer in this law firm, regardless of the fact that I was a person of color. I consider it a successful day when I can be in a meeting with young minds, either young lawyers, young law students, young college students, and to be able to talk to them and plant the seeds for their personal growth and development.
As co-chair of Lathrop GPM's LGBTQ+ Allies Inclusion Network and a member of the firm's recruitment committee, Shoshana Shanes is a lead advocate for diversity and inclusion at the firm. In this role, Shoshana creates opportunities for conversation and fosters supportive workplaces for community members and allies. In February of 2022, Shoshana helped produce a panel discussion on LGBTQ+ workplace experiences, securing speakers within her network and ensuring the inclusion of queer and trans voices. Shanes is also part of the Bar Association of Metropolitan St. Louis's LGBT section and co-moderated a CLE panel called Diversity from the Bench, featuring St. Louis judges from diverse backgrounds.
The people I work with motivate me the most as an attorney and as an advocate. I enjoy working alongside of diverse individuals and other members of the LGBTQ community and working with them and other allies at the firm to create programming and uplift diverse individuals at the firm and in our community. I'm most proud of the results that we can get for clients and working with people who not only care to achieve those results that the clients need, but also to give back to the community and work with great teams in order to do so. There is so much more work to be done in diversity and inclusion, especially in law firms. I'd love to see firms not only recruit diverse individuals, but retain and support those individuals. I'd love to see a managing group of partners that look the same as the recruitment class, that summer associate class that comes into the firm. So if we can take the diverse individuals that we're recruiting, the great individuals in law school, and promote them through the firm and give them leadership and the support to have them thrive in the firm, I think we'll be in a much better place. I've had a successful day when I work out in the morning, do some good work during the day, walk my dogs, and hang out with my wife in the evening.
Congratulations to Shoshana Shanes on being one of this year's honorees. Shoshana brings an important voice to her community and has achieved accomplishments well beyond her years. She leads with a mindset of inclusion and uses her creativity to get things done. On behalf of everybody here at Lathrop GPM, we are proud to call you a colleague and a friend. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our winners. And now I'll turn it back over to Liz for our next group of honorees.
Thank you, Johnny. What an incredible group of professionals. Let's meet a few more Diversity and Inclusion Award winners.
Courtney Stirrett is a leader, not only as partner at Frankie Schultz and Mullen, but also with her clients and her community. She is strongly dedicated to the firm's mentorship program, guiding associates through the intricacies of the law, particularly the world of insurance defense, while encouraging and teaching them to grow and develop their own unique styles of legal practice. In November 2021, in the midst of the pandemic, in a case where over $500,000 in damages were sought, Courtney obtained a defense verdict, managing the case with great skill and expertly persuading the jury to find for her client, while at the same time guiding a new associate through the trial, encouraging her to gain the experience of cross-examining two witnesses.
What motivates me the most in terms of my work as an attorney as an advocate for inclusion is to bring up the next crop of lawyers and clients who are, people of color, women, people with different sexual orientations, the full gamut, who can avoid going through some of the things I went through earlier in my career. To make them strong and proud, but without making them feel like they have to go through the fire. The thing that makes me most proud of Frankie Schultz and Mullen is their commitment to advancing and supporting female partners in litigation. We still have a deficit across the country in terms of female trial lawyers, particularly in certain areas. And my firm has taken a very proactive stance, and I'm incredibly proud of it. There are several goals that remain for me as an attorney. I think on some level, for most litigators, arguing before the Supreme Court is one. I think the big one that I'm working on now is to have an all-female trial team that I head and work with try a multi-million-dollar case in federal court and win.
Stevie Siegel Hansen is recognized for its meaningful contributions to education in Missouri, including a $2 million donation to Missouri and Kansas's flagship universities in 2021, creating scholarship funds for diverse law and journalism students, a $1 million gift to establish a scholarship for Black students at University of Kansas School of Law, and two $500,000 gifts to the University of Missouri. Stevie Siegel Hansen is also establishing a scholarship for Black students at the University of Missouri School of Law, and the Stevie Siegel Hansen Fund for Press Freedom to support the Alfred Friendly Press Partners at the Missouri School of Journalism, which provides training for journalists from countries with underdeveloped media.
A principal motivation for me in working on diversity in the legal profession is actually based on my experience serving on the board of KU Law School. We made very little inroad in expanding the number of Black law students. And so one of our focuses have been ways in which we can enhance the number of Black students entering law school. Our firm's commitment to enhancing the integration of the bar, it's been one of the highlights of starting the firm over 20 years ago. And we're hopeful to continue to make financial commitments to our regional law schools here that will increase the opportunities for Black students and other minorities to attend our excellent regional law schools. Our firm realizes that the commitments we've made thus far is not going to pay dividends immediately. We're hoping that our efforts to set these scholarships up will encourage other law firms to follow and grow the scholarship base that would be available to minority students.
Professor Micah Thompson's research at UMKC centers on the intersection of evidentiary law and race. Recently, she has written on juror bias and has also published articles on the cultural meanings of silence, advocating for a revocation of the tactile admission rule. Previously, as Director of Affirmative Action and Title IX Coordinator for the UMKC campus, Thompson coordinated the university's response to internal complaints of discrimination, harassment, and gender-based violence, as well as complaints of discrimination investigated by local, state, and federal administrative agencies. Micah Thompson is also a certified mediator in the states of Kansas and Missouri, frequently providing CLEs on employment law, professional responsibility, and implicit bias.
What motivates me most is a desire to increase diversity in the legal profession and also to increase feelings of inclusion and belonging in the legal profession. I am most proud of UMKC because it is an urban serving institution. We are in the core of Kansas City, the urban core of Kansas City, Missouri, and we have a diverse student body, students coming from all backgrounds, first generation college students, first generation lawyers, and they all come to UMKC because they want to learn the law, obviously, but they also want to serve their communities. And I'm most proud of that fact. I consider it a successful day when I make an impact on a student's experience. If a student tells me something like, I loved your class, or I really loved the discussion today, or it connected with me in some way, then that is a success for me too.
Hi, I'm Zachary Parker, a 2018 graduate, and huge congratulations to Grace Martinez. I was lucky enough to graduate with her. She's done such fantastic work, and she is so deserving of this honor. And huge congratulations to Micah, who I was able to meet after graduation and has been integral in all the success that we've had and is making UMKC a better place for all students. Congratulations, everyone. And now a word from Professor AK.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Abdul-Khalik, and on behalf of the UMKC Law faculty, I am so pleased to send my congratulations to our alum, Grace Martinez, and to our colleague, Micah Thompson. We are so amazed to see them recognized for all the hard work they've been doing to support diversity and to support inclusion in UMKC and throughout the legal network. And so congratulations to you both. We are so happy for you.
A senior counsel at Baker, Sturkey, Cowden and Rice, Paul Venker has been active in the Missouri and St. Louis legal communities for the entirety of his 40-year legal career. His commitment to diversity in the legal profession has been described by his colleagues as inspiring and is particularly demonstrated in his role as chairman of the Freedom Suits Memorial Steering Committee. Paul's passion about the Freedom Suits Memorial has been instrumental in raising the project's profile, and he continues to innovate and develop ways to educate the public about the Freedom Suits since the memorial's unveiling in June 2022.
You know, I've been thinking about this since I've been involved in this Freedom Suits Memorial project, which doesn't seem related, but it is. You know, I think the legal profession really is one of the most important aspects of our society where diversity and inclusion ought to be included. The legal profession is important because it focuses on really how people, as I say, get along and how they don't get along. And unless you really know everybody in that society, you're not going to be able to get along very well, because you're going to be blocked by ignorance and a failure to understand where the other people are coming from. I think what Missouri needs to do to continue to promote diversity and inclusion in its justice system is some of what's been happening now, but it needs to be more inclusion along the way. You know, we've seen recently the first woman Black Missouri Supreme Court judge, Robin Ransom, the Honorable Robin Ransom, which is great. But in terms of that, I think we have to continue that effort to include diverse people in our population, whether it's African Americans or Blacks, however you want to say that, or Asians, people of different attitudes and different persuasions as well, because they can add to the overall complexion and understanding of, again, what the problems of our society are and how to best help society with the law.
Congratulations again to all of this afternoon's honorees, and thanks to each of you for joining us virtually to celebrate the accomplishments highlighted in our Diversity and Inclusion Awards. I'd like to once again thank our presenting sponsor, Lewis Rice, our award sponsor, Mickus O'Toole, and our celebration sponsors, Frankie Schultz and Mullen, Hush Blackwell, Baker, Sturkey, Cowden and Rice, and Stanton Barton. This event is possible because of your incredible support. And I also want to thank all of today's guests who interacted with us through hashtag MLMdiversity 2022. Keep the comments and photos posting and trending for the next several days. Let's continue the celebration. Visit molawyersmedia.com to watch the event again and to learn more about all of today's honorees. Again, none of this would be possible without the support of so many. And I thank each of you for your attendance and generosity of time as we celebrated this recognition. We truly appreciate the work you do each day. Congratulations to our honorees. Keep moving us all forward. Be safe and stay healthy, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.